Let's get some additional insight from Kim Eng. He's the Director of Sovereign Ratings. He joins us from Singapore this morning. Thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Morning.
Well, let's first and foremost focus on what happened over the weekend. We heard from the Prime Minister personally addressing the protesters. I'm curious about your insight on what the Prime Minister had to say and how it could affect the markets, how they move this week.
Well, initially, the protesters wanted immediate dissolution of the parliament so that they can call for new elections. More recently, they have said that, well, maybe you could dissolve the government in 1 month instead of immediately. But over the weekend, the Prime Minister turned this proposal down.
We're looking at the foreign currency rating on Thailand. We have that you have given it the third lowest investment grade. Given the turmoil that persists and the violence we've been watching for, again, a month and a half now, what would it take for you to downgrade Thailand even further?
The Thai credit indicators are strong within the BBB category, which is why it is now rated BBB+. But we do see the political uncertainty persisting and likely will bring the credit indicators down from current levels in the next year or two. And if this prediction were to come through, then likely there will be a rating downgrade. Now, more immediately, if violence breaks out across the country, which is an event we do not expect at this time, it could also trigger a downward revision.
Well, when we have such tumultuous times, where can people find value?
Where can people? You mean foreign investors or local investors?
Yes. Both, really.
Well, whatever will not be affected. Now, if you are foreign direct investors, you would probably continue to invest in the country because so far as we can see, the protests are not affecting the infrastructure that will bring their exports out of the country. And for portfolio investors, well, I'm in no position to advise.
Well, it's interesting what you just said, because when you're looking at the violence that has persisted, we're seeing the worst violence in Bangkok since in the last 18 years. Do you find it intriguing that the economy has not been more challenged by what's been going on?
Initially, yes, but if you look at the protests in Bangkok, even within Bangkok, it occupies affects only a small area within the city. Now, the major driving force behind the Thai economy in the past few years have been exports. And as long as the infrastructure doesn't get affected, the roads leading to the ports themselves, then I guess there's no reason why exports should drop off as a driving force for the economy. And the fact that the yellow-shirted protesters actually took over the airport for a while back in a couple of years ago, that really hit the electronics exporters, which was why at that point the protests became a lot more urgent to the exporters than the current ones.
And the red shirt protesters have indicated they have no plans to cause that problem with the busy Bangkok International Airport. I want to look at Thailand's central bank right now as well. The benchmark interest rate staying at 1.25%. I'm curious whether or not you expect any rate hikes in the future. I believe the next meeting will be June the 2nd.
I do see two triggers for them to revise their monetary policy rates up. One is that if political uncertainty were to die down, the protesters to go away, then they are likely to normalize their interest rates again. Secondly, if inflationary pressures builds up a lot more than what they are now, then they are likely to be forced to move on that front as well.
Okay, let's take a longer range view of Thailand and of Bangkok. How could this violence in the current affect Thailand a year from now, 5 years from now?
I think the fundamental issue here is whether the key players in the Thai political in Thai politics come to a compromise. Right now, if whatever you do with the government, whether the government is dissolved or not, you will always have protesters on the streets because whoever's in power in government will always have a big group of people opposing them. So what we really need to see for normalization of politics in Thailand is for the key players to come to a compromise. And on this front, we don't see much development in the recent past.
All right, so you are waiting again for compromise. All right, Kim Eng of Standard & Poor's, thank you so much for your expertise this morning. We do appreciate it.